Hi guys, my name is Zin and this is Maybe Bonsai. This week there's not going to be that much bonsai work because everything is good for now and nothing to do. So what I am going to do is a small project. I'm going to kind of dig out this, make a small area, maybe a few feet from the fence, and I'm going to plant some of these Japanese maples in the ground. I got a couple over the last couple of weeks, and this is just a regular Acer palmatum. There's no cultivar with it. It's just the rootstock, and same as the one that's back there. The nursery had these, and basically they're all failed grafts, so now they're selling these as rootstock, which is fine. I don't need to air layer them, I can just grow them. And so I'll be planting both of these, and I'm thinking of also planting the season of change here, this one. Yeah, the leaves, I don't know if it's being burnt or some kind of fungus, I'm not sure what it is, but I'm thinking of planting this one as well, and even the trident maple. Now I've been warned by pretty much everyone that trident maples are not that hardy. I don't really know why they say that, but I guess because when I looked it up, it's like zone 5 to 9. Here it's zone 5, and it's good to -20 degrees, but they were saying that the roots contains a lot of moisture, so it's kind of what's the word I'm looking for, susceptible to frost damage. But I don't know, I think I want to try it at least, and hopefully the air layer takes, which I actually checked a couple weeks ago, and there hasn't been any roots. So I mean, the leaves are fine, and I don't know if this is gonna root or what. So I'm thinking of putting it in the ground, just to see if it makes it through the winter. And if it doesn't, I could always get another one. It's not a big deal. And if it does, well, great. I could just grow it. So yeah, I got my tools here, just the shovel and gloves. So I'm gonna get started on the work, and I'll show you afterwards, after I get the area dug out and ready to plant the trees. Okay, I got my first hole prepared. Here's a bunch of soil in the grass and mix. So I'll be putting in some of this garden soil, but I think this is more of a container mix because it's got perlite in it. But in my experience in gardening, it doesn't matter what kind of soil you put in. If it's from the store, it's better than the soil outside. So I'll be putting some of this in as a base at the bottom, and then as I put the tree in, I'll be putting some around the tree as well, so it has nutrients. So I'll be putting in this in first, just sitting like that. I have less space around the area, so I can walk in there and work on it. And two, I wanted to put it more towards away from the fence, so it gets a bit more sun. Right now it's about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, probably 2 o'clock, and I already started getting some shade here, which is fine for Japanese maples. But the regular Acer palmatum can handle a bit more sun. So I'll be filling this, and I'll show you what it looks like after I plant it, and then once I have more holes, we'll get the rest in as well. Here is the second hole, which is fairly close to the first one, and usually you will want to plant more further apart, but I'm planning on keeping the trees fairly small so that they're not gonna interfere with each other, and maybe at some point I'll be digging them out to put in a bonsai pot, but I'm pretty sure I'll keep one of them here for good, so I can air layer from it and just have it as a garden tree. So the second one that's going to be going in will be this one, which is another just regular Acer palmatum. You can see the graft. They probably tried it here, right there, probably failed, and now it's just kind of a stump, which is fine. I don't mind, over here. So yeah, I'll be filling this with triple mix. The other soil ran out, so I'll show you what it looks like once I plant these. So here is the third tree. Other two are planted. Season of change, Acer palmatum. It's gonna go in right here. And I think my final tree is gonna be the trident maple, which I'll probably put somewhere around here. Okay, so I'll get that planted, and actually I'll get both planted and I'll show you the final result. Well, I've finished planting all the trees, so let's have a look. That's the season of change, the couple Acer palmatums, and then the trident maple. This is a test because I don't know if this is going to make it. It says it's zone 5, but everybody says that you can't, it doesn't work. So we'll see what happens. And I'd be lying if I tell you the air layer was the original. What happened is that I checked this a couple weeks ago, the air layer. I didn't see any roots. I actually kind of, you know, brushed away the moss just to see, and there was nothing, but it was callousing quite a bit. So I was like, oh man, I have to do something. You know, it's July, we're third way through July, and I was worried. So what happened is that I planted this tree, and then I took it apart. I was like, oh, I'm going to reapply this air layer with fresh moss and see what happens. So I took it apart, and what do you know, it rooted. There's a couple of very small roots coming out. I'm like, oh man, I immediately regretted taking apart the air layer. So then I reapplied it with fresh moss, and then with the clear plastic inside, so I could actually take it apart and look. Before I couldn't, because it was actually this one you could, but I couldn't see anything. But now it's, you know, it's clear plastic, so it has very small roots, which is fine because I reapplied it. It's gonna start rooting now, and there's still July, you know, most of July and August for it to develop more roots. So that's good. I think this will be fine. So that's good news. This tree at the corner here is a new tree that I got. This is the Acer palmatum cochideri. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it has very small leaves, red tips. Fall color is orange. Grows 1.5 meters high. That's okay, but you know, it has tiny leaves, which is great, and it's a zone 5 tree, so it should be fine here. You never know with these Japanese maples. You know, the nursery says everything is zone 6 except the one that's marked zone 5, and this one's marked zone 5. So hopefully it'll be fine. Obviously I'll be air layering this as well, and I was looking at the tip here. I can just air layer somewhere around there next year, hopefully. This is kind of too long and there's nothing going on there anyway. So that's exciting. Hopefully that survives. I'm hoping this will survive. I'm gonna move this stuff around just a bit. So let me move this over. So that's it for the trees, the trees planting at least. And I do have a couple of updates. This is the juniper from last week that has a lot of bugs, and I asked around, and basically I found out what it is. It's a juniper scale that was on there, that is still on there actually. I'm just trying to find something, and I'm not talking about the white layer of just color on the leaves. That's just, you know, that's normal, that's from the tree itself, but it's hard to tell, but you know, there's little flakes on the leaves. And basically I'm told that you can brush it with a toothbrush, with the Windex or some kind of insecticide. You could rub it with a Q-tip and rubbing alcohol, but there's so many needles that it's simply impossible for me to go through every single one. It's you know, I reduced this quite a bit. I took off a lot of foliage, and then I sprayed the rest. I brushed as much as I could, but it was just not possible for me to go through every single leaf. It would have taken me probably days, and it doesn't really come off that easily. You know, the bigger white flakes, that comes off quite easily, but I can see there's smaller brown little ones that simply just doesn't come off unless you really kind of scrape it onto it, on it. So I took off a lot of foliage. Actually, this one should should be gone. And you know, at this point, I just hopefully the tree will be fine with the bugs, and I'm hoping the spray will work to get rid of these scales. Yeah, quite annoying. So if you see them, they look like white flakes with a little brown dot in the middle. And you know, if you see any kind of dots on the leaves, you know, you should move in and try to get rid of them. Even now I can see some smaller brown dots, and I'm hoping the insecticide spray worked. It's hard to tell because they don't move, so it's, you know, they might be dead, but they're still on there because, you know, they're not moving. So yeah. So this is the maple that I pruned last week. So you can see the buds are swelling. They're all kind of about to pop. The leaves are about to pop. There's one there, and a couple up here, one there. So that's great, which means the pruning it's good. It worked fine. So another update is more exciting than these. We'll head to the front yard. It's about the air layer that I did on the garden tree in the front. This one I aerated once last year in mid-July, and it rooted nicely in August. This year I did this in April, or sorry, not April, May. And sorry, not this one, this one. I'm sure that one has roots as well, because I did look, and I saw roots on the surface. This one I did later on in May. It was like almost June, and I think I checked. Yeah, see right there, look at that. I don't know if you can see, but these white, they're all roots, lots of roots. So yeah, this garden tree is prolific for air layering. I mean, so far 3 for 3, and it's fast too. It doesn't take that long. It's like 6 weeks, and you know, you saw how many roots there are. That's just on that one side. So I think this tree is getting a little really bushy. So I think next year I'm gonna air layer more of this. I mean, if they're not gonna be successful, I can probably make a forest out of it or something like that. This air layer I checked a couple weeks ago. It was callousing. You can see the white callus forming on the spot, but roots have not come out yet, so I put it back. But you know, the tree is growing, right? Like this is the air layer branch. You can see new leaves and everything, so it's alive and it's doing fine. So I think it just needs more time, and hopefully 2 more months it's gonna have lots of roots and I can cut that off. So that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed the updates and the tree planting. I'm going to water my trees now, and thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.